The little like stovetop espresso type thing.
Yes. So every morning we have.
Awesome.
Yeah, she makes it.
Please, if you remember, I'll bring you some coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, she would love that.
Yeah.
She's got her own little that she grinds it.
Okay, so she just needs beans.
She just needs beans.
Perfect. We'll bring some beans for you.
No, that will be amazing.
What has just been delivered?
So, where are we now?
It's Friday.
So Donnie, our supply of sand and stone and everything, has just dropped off another 2 cubes of plaster sand, a cube of Mgeni sand and a cube of stone. The Mgeni sand and stone is for foundation, so we actually can have a look over here. We've got 2 trenches dug. There's going to be a wall coming across here with a gate in the middle, and this is going to allow us to receive, we receive a lot of green coffee, equipment and that type of thing, and then I think that will be our gate for dispatch as well, so that we won't have couriers coming in and out of the cafe all the time. So we're doing a face brick wall. It's going to link up, you see all the half bricks on the edge of this wall, with the gaps. The boundary wall will just link straight into that, run across here, and then we'll have a nice sliding gate in the middle. And then that boundary wall between us and Super Quick is going to be replaced with a tall brick wall to match the rest of the building. Cool, so the internal sort of brickwork is happening now, and essentially we're just preparing to put the slab in place before going up to the second floor, well, to the first floor. That is the height of the underside of the slab. So it's about 3.7 meters, I believe, to the underside. But it's not going to be, you might have seen this in other videos, the slab isn't running the whole way through to the front of the building. It runs to about 6 meters, which I believe is probably around here. So that part of the building will be double volume, and then here will be standing under the slab. And the slab, as I said, will be at 3.7 meters. So it's like, even under the slab, it's going to feel tall. And then the double volume section, it's going to be like really, really tall, which is cool. So we've got quite a narrow building, but it's going to feel spacious, hopefully. And then this is the doorway now. I see they've done the top course for the doorway, which will lead from the cafe inside to the outside seating area. This wall over here is going to be, the plan at the moment is for it to be retail. So I think from about here, like that part of the wall is being knocked away, demoed. So over here we'll have like a nice big display of coffee, merch, equipment. Yeah, what kind of equipment do you want to see? We bring some stuff in of our own. I want to have some espresso machines, maybe like a wall of espresso machines, and filters for every brewer. Like, I think you got to know that if you come to Bluebird, you're gonna get filters, man. So many people like come and visit us and go, oh, I haven't had chemic filters for like 3 months because there's nowhere to find them. And yeah, so let's be the reliable source of filters. Hashtag no filter.
We do have filters though.
Yeah, but that was a joke.
All of the filters.
Hashtag simultaneously all of the filters. Marketing 101. So, okay, here's a cool update. You might have seen in a previous shot, I don't know, the meeting with Kevin, the builder. So essentially what happened was when the engineer first did the engineering spec for the design that Nick, the architect, did, there were these like massive columns everywhere to support the slab. So he didn't want the slab supported by the foundations or the walls, he wanted it to be self-supporting. But it was a bit overkill for the slab system that we've ended up using. So shout out to Dom from Super Slab. Got a really cool like block and lintel system that we're going to be using that's very, very good and has helped save us some money. So essentially what's happening now is we are replacing these like columns on the inside of the building that would have taken up space and been really awkward, with 4 columns, 2 on each side of the building, and some big pads being built above the foundation. So what's happened now is these holes have been dug and are being dug for the these pads. So if you come have a look here, you can actually see the foundation. So there's, you know, we've got dirt on this side of the hole, and then you can see a bit of concrete at the bottom there. That's the foundation. And the pad will be on both sides of the wall, so inside and outside the building. Rebar, and then a section will be cut out of the wall here, and that section will be replaced with shuttering on either side, concrete poured into it with rebar running all the way through to the top floor or to the roof, creating vertical strength for the slab as well as horizontal wind strength, essentially, because the building's so tall. The engineer is worried about it catching and attracting wind. So yeah, that's going to be the solution. So they're just busy preparing all of this. I ordered the steel yesterday. I don't know, I had a good laugh because the QS report said the steel for the building was going to be like 120,000, and I ended up paying 40, plus there's some steel in the slab. But when I did my final costings for the build, I can't remember if I included the steel in the costing. So either we saved money yesterday or we spent extra 40,000 that I hadn't budgeted for. So I can't quite remember, and I can't find those pieces of paper. So yeah, I'm organized like 70% of the time, I'm organized 100% of the time. So that's where we're at. Space that we want to parquet. Essentially, I don't do measurements because the floor is not marketable at the moment. So we're putting a bar counter that will run from the wall this way across there to about 1.5 meters before it's the cover. That will be a nice like rectangular space here, and we'll do our own flooring behind that. There will be a gap here, like a little walkway gap. But I'm thinking that we start like a black work surface flooring from the edge and not try and parquet into a small gap. It just seems like it might be a bit. So my initial plan for the cafe was to have parquet flooring. This was like 8 months ago, whatever it was, and I gave up on the idea because I couldn't find what I wanted. I definitely didn't want to do new parquet flooring. I don't think it's the right decision to do a new wood floor right now, like for sustainability reasons, etc. So I wanted to do a reclaimed floor, and I just kept finding these like skinny tiles, like dark wood, and I just didn't want that look, the 5 tile checkered look. So I gave up on it. We started like shopping around for different ideas for tiles and screeds and all kinds of stuff. And then like a couple of weeks ago, I came across an ad on Facebook Marketplace for these like light colored, larger tiles, and we're going to use them to do like a herringbone design. Sorry, we've got someone driving at us in our road lane, which was fun. So yeah, long story short, on Saturday, took a drive down to Westville to go and fetch them. you know, seemed like it would be enough. And we didn't get a third of the tiles, so not enough. It was about half a ton of parquet. So we've bought 120 square meters, or 100 square meters is what the guy's advertising it at. And that was $5,000, so it's like super cheap, 50 Rand a square meter, but the tiles are like good, but not in the greatest condition. Any new products, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, bye.
Cool. Well.
So yeah, we finished the tiles. The cheap part is buying the tiles. The expensive part is laying them. So the screed, like a self-leveling screed, is about 140 Rand a square meter. And then the actual laying, sealing, filling gaps, all that kind of stuff is about 450 Rand, 500 Rand a square, which is pretty expensive. But it's gonna look amazing, and it's a reused floor, so that's exciting, you know. It lived in a house in Westville for a long time, and now it's being repurposed and it'll live for a long time inside the Bluebird Cafe, or Bluebird Coffee Roastery's cafe in Howick, which is exciting. So pumped. We've got to go back and fetch about a ton of parquet.
Double what we fetched on Saturday.
This is why we go to the gym. Functional fitness. I just don't have any fitness or strength, so we'll have to take Fani with us. That's that. What's going on?
Gonna put the Kevin on the construction sign. We didn't know if we were gonna put a big sign outside or not, so we're just gonna put a Kevin for now.
But what's the thinking with the signage at the moment?
For the nothing. So I think we're not gonna put anything on for now. Keep the town of Howick buzzing, you know. And then when it's almost ready, we'll put a sign up so that
saying average coffee,
come.
free beer.
Yeah.
Free
Come
beer.
by. Free beer. Free beer. Yeah. So where should we put this?
I don't know.
So
Authorized personnel only. Kevin's allowed. That's amazing.
That is a perfect spot. There. That's all you're getting, Howick.
Spoken about this.
Yeah, so I think the last time we were here, they hadn't started that, they hadn't started this.
Cool.
The last time we were here, it was just foundations.
Oh yes.
So if you can go from there.
Okay, cool. So like this is the this is kind of like the boundary wall. So this will be parking. It's quite hard to like imagine it now because we've got the green mesh fence over there, or the shade cloth fence. But all of this area here where the building materials lie at the moment will be parking. So this will all be open. You'll come in, you'll park, and there'll be a gate across this entrance over here, which will be permanently closed and only used for deliveries and for dispatch. So when the couriers come every day and fetch all the web store and wholesale orders, they'll come through this gate. And I was just explaining that this wall is going to be pretty tall, but we've got like a fairly steep runoff on this driveway, so it descends down towards the boundary wall between us and Super Quick. So on the Super Quick side, it's going to be probably 3 meters tall, like 2.5 to 3 meters. I'm gauging it against the slab height. But by the time it gets into the building, it's actually not that tall because of the. I'm just loving this.
Just a man on his wall.
Just a man on his wall. I'm so happy with it. It's really cool to see all the new brickwork coming in, so you can see a pretty distinct line between the old and the new, which I think is cool. And then the windows are, because the sun's like quite bright.
Okay.
But okay, so the slab, as I've explained before, is in the center of the building. There's a double volume section in the front and the back. So it means that the bricklayers can actually build up quite tall now in the front of the building because there isn't a slab going in. So they've started the detailing around the windows, and Nick, our architect, has designed some pretty beautiful brick detailing around our windows. There was a bit of confusion at first trying to figure out the plan, so I think this is the third go. They've actually like built a bunch and then like realized it wasn't right, taken it down, and this was the third attempt. So you can't really see it on camera, I don't think, but there's like a 30 mil recess. The bricks are set back 30 mils right next to the window, and then as they get up to the arch at the top of the window, there's some really cool detailing that sticks out. I think it's about a 3 brick deep detailing section, which looks amazing on the plan, so I can't wait to see it in person. The windows are actually almost done. The steel fabricators have got the steel windows pretty much done now. I think they're being delivered next week Wednesday, so like 5 days from now. And yeah, we've got these round windows going into that side of the building, so upstairs. There's 8 of them, and it's so deceiving. Like, I've never built anything before, so I'm looking at the plans and I'm trying to get a sense of scale, and I'm not looking at the measurements, and it's like I'm imagining these round port windows like this big, and then the builders were showing me yesterday that they're actually huge, man. They're 900 wide, so like the diameter of the round windows is 900, and they're going to be like a center. They're going to open on a center pivot, which is going to be so cool. So there are 8 of them, which is going to bring a lot of natural light, and also because it's at the top level, it's going to allow a lot of hot air to vacate the premises. Hot air has left the building. They've seen this before.
Yes.
But okay, let me.
So in the previous clips?
Yeah, previous clip we were talking about these columns being built into the walls, and now you can see that the gaps have actually been cut, and the steel has arrived. I don't know where it is, probably inside, but the steel's arrived, and tomorrow the guys will come to tie the steel. So it's quite a process actually. I'll just go over here. So these like steel cages that go into the pad down here, and then there's steel rebar running all the way up to the roof line, and there's actually going to be like a bunch of rebar drilled into the walls, which I learned about yesterday, to create stability. And then we'll have a truck come and pour ready mix concrete next week. So they've got to fill the pad first. There'll be shuttering on either side of this wall, and then they'll actually pour in from the top. It's so interesting because, I don't know, maybe some engineers out there can explain why, but you know, in my head, if you've got this like, you've got this big pad here, and you've got this like, I don't know, column over here, if you're pouring concrete in from the top and the pad at the bottom here is still wet, surely it would overflow. But apparently it doesn't. Very cool. Building, man.